This video is brought to you by your support on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/grouchygus94 to help support the channel. Okay, Alex, here we are. We're here to talk about Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, dude, that was a good movie. I really liked it. I thought it was great.
I kind of thought the same thing. So I haven't looked at any kind of reviews or anything. We were going into the movie, and Ashley said, yeah, my friend, she reviews movies on Facebook, and she said it was terrible. Like, the story was bad, and I'm like, because I've been of the opinion that a lot of the new Marvel movies have been kind of bad lately. Like, they're not hitting the mark. They're kind of subpar, especially after Endgame.
I would have to agree with a little bit with that. With like the Eternals, that one felt like it's not connected at all to anything. Yeah. Then you had Thor: Love and Thunder, which I really liked, but still, like, the ending kind of felt a little flat. I don't know what, like, with that one. All the shows, I think my favorite one was Hawkeye was my favorite, with Loki, followed by Loki, then WandaVision. I think Captain America was probably my least favorite. Not that it was bad, but like with those shows too, though, those, like, they kind of felt like, someone described it best, where they're trying to make a show into a movie, where like it was at the end of She-Hulk. She said it was like like the end of it seems like the end of every show has to have this, like, grand finale, and like I feel like they don't need to do that,
Right.
And because, like, they keep trying to do, like, these, like, big, because it became formulaic, where end of Captain America, I guess that one didn't really have too much. Like, they kind of, like, fought the super
It was
soldiers.
the big speech at the end of Captain America. That was his big grandiose race speech at the end. I am the new Captain America.
Then the end of WandaVision was that huge fight, CGI fight. That one was great, but that was just because it was, like, the first one. So it's like, oh, sick, that's so cool. Well, Vision's back, fighting. I guess we should have said spoiler warnings for all these shows.
Yeah, I mean, they've had fair. I think anyone that's gonna watch this video has seen a lot of the other stuff. We won't spoil everything else too much, but just watching the trailers going into this movie, I got the feeling that they were not gonna mishandle this. Like, the last few movies, I didn't get a good feeling going in, and then I felt like they did kind of drop the ball. The trailers for this looked good, and I would say the movie was very good. It held up. I would say it's a great Marvel movie. Ending, I had a little bit of problems with, but I really enjoyed it.
I agree with. We'll get to the ending too. I have some notes on that. So I went into this blind. And what caught me off guard was the 2-hour and 40-minute runtime.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that long, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" And I was telling my buddies, I'm like, movie theaters need to start, like, cutting the movie in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, at an hour and a half, do an intermission, 5-10 minutes. Let everyone go to the bathroom. Let me go to the popcorn stand, get some more snacks and stuff. It's good for the theaters because I'm spending more money.
Yeah, it's good for the theaters, and it's healthy. Like, you shouldn't be, like, sitting there that long with a whole 2-liter of pop in your bladder,
Oh my gosh! And another thing, I don't know where you go. I go to Marcus Theaters, and it's like a chain. It's like AMC, but it's like, I think it's more localized to Minnesota and stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
But like, they always sell those commemorative plastic large cups. So when you get the combo, you'll get, like, a large popcorn and a large drink for like $16 or something.
Yeah.
But usually the large drink is like a plastic reusable cup. I have like 10 of them in my cupboards right now. But like, they didn't have one from Wakanda Forever. either maybe they ran out.
See, I remember those when I lived in Minnesota. I haven't really seen them around here. The only thing I saw like that was with not The Last Jedi. What was the one before that? The Force Awakens.
I think so. Yeah.
They had like
The
tin
Force
popcorn
Awakens.
bins. That's really all I've seen. I haven't seen cups or anything like that. I remember that more from Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I have a couple of like the popcorn where it's like a plastic thing too, but like usually you have to pay extra. But yeah, so that was another thing I was really upset about. Like, where is my commemorative cup? Like, come on.
Yeah, when you think about the runtime, it makes sense because they had so much ground to cover. Because just out of the blue, your star he's not with us anymore. They have to write him out of the script and completely change it. So like, in a way, I get it. I love a good long movie. Same thing as the new Batman. Great long movie, but God, an intermission would be nice. Halfway through, just take a minute, go pee, or 2/3 in or something. Just
an hour, an hour in,
right before it starts popping off at the end.
Right before the end of the second act.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, though, one of my buddies I looked it up, and it's called the Run P app. So what it does is when the movie starts, you hit a timer, and it'll start counting, and it'll tell you when the best time to take a pee break is. And it'll say, leave when you hear this quote. And for us, it was... I won't say it right now. But yeah, it'll give a quote, and it's like, oh, you hear that quote? Get up, go pee. And then when you're going to the pee, it gives you like a little paragraph summary, and it tells you exactly what's happening on screen while you're going to the bathroom.
Ah, that's perfect. Okay, I'll have to go get that. That's a good idea.
So I think that's great, and you don't have to use it just to go pee, if you want to go get snacks or get a refill on your soda or whatever, because it'll give you the best moments where there's a lull and it's just talking.
Okay.
And, there's not a lot of stuff on screen that you need to be focused on, and so that's the best time to go, because then it can just say this guy showed up, started talking to this guy.
Okay.
All right, you're caught.
There's a part I want to ask you about when I had to go pee, but I don't want to say what, because I think it's kind of spoilerish. So what did you think of the movie in general? What are your thoughts without going into spoilers?
I thought the pacing on this one was really good compared to Thor: Love and Thunder. There was slow moments and there's fast moments, but the slow moments weren't super long and drawn out and stuff. And I don't know. I just thought that the pacing on this was really great. The actors were good.
Riri Williams. No,
I don't know the name of it.
Not her name. The other one. Who's Shuri?
Shuri.
That's kind of a spoiler what I just said. Whatever.
Well, no, Shuri. No, she was in the first one.
Well, the other name.
Oh.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Everyone knows she was in this movie, so we're just gonna whatever. But Shuri was good. She did a really good job.
Yep. The mom did good. I don't even want to try. I'm gonna butcher all the names. The general, she was good. Everyone played their part good. I liked how they handled Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
With him, not being in it anymore and stuff.
It was I kind of could have went without. This is right at the beginning of the movie where, he's in the process of dying and she's trying to fix it on the thing. Probably could have went without that, but otherwise it was totally fine. They could have just started it with her grieving and right after the fact when she finds out when her mom comes in.
I think that they had to address it though.
Yeah,
because, it's kind of hard to be but maybe start at the beginning of the funeral.
Yeah.
But they had to give a reason why. It's why did this super soldier die randomly?
And why didn't she save him? Yeah, it was fine. It's a really tough spot to get out of. I mean,
I'm kind of curious to see though, because Chadwick didn't die like immediately after Endgame and stuff. So like, I wonder if he recorded anything and they're gonna be like bringing him back in a way like with like that deep fake technology and stuff.
I think if they were going to, we probably would have seen it in this movie. You know, they came out saying that they're not going to do that. They're not going to recast him. So I think to make such a big point to avoid it for this one, I don't think they would do it in the future. It's something we need to talk about later, but that I was kind of shocked by. But I don't think they will do that.
It's hard for me to say what I liked about the show and what I didn't like without like spoilers. So I'm like, pacing was good, acting was good, the visual effects were really good. I liked what they did. This won't be a spoiler. Namor, I thought out of the park. The actor did a good job, but also how they implemented him, his backstory, and how like a fucking mermaid with wings on his feet looks cool
and menacing.
He was a threat. Like, oh my gosh.
He came out and Ashley's like, who the hell's this guy? And I'm like, he's like Marvel's Aquaman. And he was doing some stuff and she's like, is he a good guy? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know that much about him, but he was really good.
There's a lot of, he's in a lot of Marvel comics. He deals a lot with Fantastic Four, and in the comics he has like a relationship where like he the Invisible Woman has an affair with him, with Namor.
Really?
Fantastic Four.
Oh God.
Yeah, because
they're coming up. They're gonna have a movie in the next phase. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. I wonder if they're going to include Jim from The Office.
So there was talks, like, we don't know if he's going to be in it or directing it, but I've seen a lot of videos where they're discussing that. We don't know if he's going to be. He was really good though.
I think he was great in Multiverse of Madness. So I think that'd be a good fit.
One thing I'll say about Wakanda Forever is this movie was really good and at beating you over the head with humor too, where that's kind of been a flaw of some of the more recent Marvel movies where they're like, we got to make it funny, they got to throw in the jokes. You know, the Dora Milaje had some jokes, they were funny, but it was like appropriate, not too over the top, and it didn't take you out of it at any point in the movie for me.
Iron Man was like a big one on that, where he is like, you're making me look bad in front of the wizard, or what's up Squidward, and stuff like that. Like he had like a quip every other line, and I think that had to do a lot with Joss Whedon when he directed the first Avengers. Like there's a lot of quips and stuff, and that was really popular, so they kind of carried it over with the other movies, I think.
Yeah, in some of the more recent movies, like when Thor in Love and Thunder, he's fighting the birds at the beginning, and I get the whole intro was super over the top, but like the scene where he does the splits in the air and catches the two. I'm like, oh my God, and then. There's just moments in that movie where I'm like, this should be more serious than it is,
I 100% agree. I think they went a little too far with Thor for him being funny.
Yeah.
And stuff. Like, I think it was better than when, like, in Avengers, he was like that Shakespeare kind of like...
Yeah, I'm okay with him being a funny guy. That's fine, but, like...
But it's too much. And, because, there's a video online where it talks about like how Thor has changed throughout the movies, where he starts off like super serious, top of the world kind of thing, where it's like nothing can stop me, and like because like that's when it was after he redeemed himself, got the hammer, and he was in the Avengers and stuff. After the first movie, he's like, like I'm unstoppable, I'm untouchable, There's nothing I can't handle. And then he just keeps losing family member after family
Yeah.
member after
Yeah.
family member after family member. And he like kind of breaks, and then he kind of like rebuilds himself in the end game and stuff. And then like Thor: Love and Thunder, this is him like coming back because like in Thor Ragnarok, at that point, he kind of I forgot. Is Ragnarok was after or was that before Endgame? I forgot.
That was before Endgame.
Before Endgame. Yeah.
Because then they're in the ship. It leads directly into Infinity War because they're.
Yep. Yep. Because Asgard just got destroyed. They're on a ship. It gets invaded by Thanos. So yeah, in the span of that movie, you know, he's like the super confident guy, and then he loses his homeworld, loses his father, and loses his brother and half of his population, and he's just out for blood. And he's like, so they're saying like at the beginning of Infinity War, where he's like cracking jokes and stuff, and he's like, well, let's just go kill him and stuff. He's a broken man, kind of thing.
Which that's fine, and he was using humor to cope. That's fine, but I think they just did a really good job with this movie on just
100%.
Doing it correctly and putting humor in where it was appropriate, and it just went really good.
I think out of this phase so far, I think this is one of the best ones, followed by Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange was really good.
Yeah. Spider-Man was this phase, right?
Oh yeah, that's right, Spider-Man.
I would maybe put that at the top.
You think he's better? Probably is. I think I just really like Black Panther right now because it's so fresh in my mind.
It was cool seeing the 3 Spider-Men like that. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was sick.
This movie had more feels in it, though. It was maybe a better movie. I guess I don't know. Like the other one was just pure spectacle, like 3 Spider-Man, all the old villains. Like,
yeah. I think I would rank maybe Spider-Man above Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange, but I still think Black Panther is just like overall. I could watch it again. Like I think the pacing's good, the acting's good, and the story is like start to finish good.
Yeah.
So for the end, which we'll talk about.
Do you want to get into spoilers?
Sure, we can get into spoilers.
Let me pull out the spoiler bird here. 1 second. We are now in spoiler territory.
All right.
What's the first thing you want to talk about?
Well, let's start at the beginning. Like the heart-shaped herb kind of thing, controversy. Like they had, and like Chadwick died from an unknown disease, or like they had T'Challa die from an unknown disease, something to do. I think they should have focused saying that it was the fact that he took the herb, almost died, or like took the herb, removed its powers, almost died, and then took it again, and like that kind of fucked. They should have said like it was the heart-shaped herb that was kind of like killing him, just because the way that he like was almost dead when he retook it.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a good way to do it, instead of just like some mysterious illness.
Yeah, like it's almost like they could have went like, in my mind they could have went 2 different ways. Like they could have said like they knew what it was colon cancer, and he kept it, just have that character suffer the same fate as the actor.
Right.
Where they kind of did this middling thing where it's like he kept it a secret like the actor, but they didn't say what it was. Or then they, I suppose a third way they could, like you said, tied it more directly into the story, give a reason to it.
The only reason why I say I disagree with like him hiding the disease is because there's almost no disease that they should be able to keep. Like they're like the most advanced. They have nanotechnology and stuff, and they like Martin Freeman, who plays that guy, who plays like the American agent guy, or not the American agent,
colonizer.
Yeah, colonizer. I don't remember what his character name is, but
Yeah, I don't know either.
so like they saved his life too. But yeah, so that's why I think like it should do more with the heart-shaped herb because it's more like mystical, more magical kind of thing. It's like it's beyond science. Like that's why we couldn't save him, kind
Right.
of thing.
Yeah, they very easily could have put something in there, but the way they did it was fine. It wasn't too offensive, and then it was over fast enough, and it got us to his funeral, which I think was a great way to start the movie. It just like really kind of
I think one of the weird things though about the funeral is like I kind of chuckled about was at the end of the funeral, his coffin gets sucked up into the ship.
yeah. I'm like, come on.
Didn't like that. That was dumb. And I was like joking with like, I was like, this is a very touching, like super old traditional like funeral. I go, when do you think they incorporated the spaceship?
Yeah,
Like,
I know. Like I saw that spaceship. I'm like, please God, tell me they're not gonna suck the coffin, and they did. I'm like,
I thought because like when I saw it, I was thinking in my head like Blue Angels when like the Air Force like
yeah.
do a flyover or something like the military respect or something. That's what I thought it was, and I was like, oh no.
But I was thinking because I saw that, and then I'm like, that was a weird choice. But
Mm-hmm.
they don't have cars in Wakanda. Like I was thinking about that. I don't remember ever seeing a car in Wakanda. So maybe it's just not their culture. Like, yeah, they wouldn't have a hearse. Like they don't have cars there. Why would they have a hearse? So they do have these flying ships. I don't know.
I was thinking they just carry it. That's what I
Yeah.
figured. Like they'd walk it to the tomb.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Now that I think about it, like they don't really. I don't even think of any vehicles. I think it's like a walking city.
Yeah. So I guess they could have just walked it all the way out, but it was odd. I think we could both agree on that.
I liked the introduction of Riri Williams,
Yep.
Ironheart. Um, I it was funny though because she's 19, and in the comics, I think she's like 14 or 15.
Really?
But I think though they aged her up because of the 5-year blip.
Okay.
So that's what I was
That
kind
makes
of
sense.
thinking.
Yeah, if
Um,
14 to 19, yeah, perfect 5-year gap.
but like I could be wrong. I haven't read any of her comics. I just remember she's supposed to be like this super smart. She got an MIT. She's super young, and she creates her like she becomes like an Iron Man of her own kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like I think it's smart. Like that's how. Yeah, it's like oh, someone built this vibranium detector out of like super advanced technology and also parts from a scrapyard. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like.
Yeah. We were in the theaters, and I knew who it was because I watch these videos. I read the rumors and stuff, and I lean over to Ashley. I'm like, you know who she is? And she's like, no. I'm like, what do you think they're going to pull down from the ceiling? She's like, I have no idea. You want to bet it's an Iron Man suit? She's like, oh, no way. And then it was. I'm like, yep, there we go. It was perfect.
I really liked her Mark One, where she's flying around as kind of just a harness.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it has like the booster rockets. I kind of agree with some like the critics. I didn't like hers or the Blue Angels or the Night Angels. Their suits, I didn't like them. They looked weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that a thing from the comics? Is that like accurate? I was looking at him like that's weird. That is so weird. I thought it was gonna go like she would modify that into an Iron Man suit, but then they didn't do that.
I was assuming like I thought they were gonna be like aquatic suits.
Yeah,
I thought those were like for fighting underwater or something, or like underwater something. I didn't think like they're like, oh, these are like Black Panther Iron Man suits.
Yeah.
But Riri, like her or not Riri, Shuri, her Black Panther suit was basically an Iron Man suit, and that one looked awesome.
Her Black Panther suit. Oh my god. So she was basically wearing Michael B. Jordan's suit.
Yes.
Yeah, like, and when she went into that dream, we're going out completely out of order now.
Wait, we should pause for a second. Let's back up. All right. So at the beginning, they had the funeral. We both agree that the spaceship flying thing, a little weird. And then what was it after that? Then they were mourning, and then it was the mining scene. Like the detector found the vibranium underwater, and they freaked out. And like Namor, like was able to sneak into Wakanda through the water, which I at first I was like that's insane. They have no detectors, like this like super impenetrable.
Yeah.
But they said like, well, what he swam 150 kilometers underwater, and so like it's like I guess it's really like you probably have a sensor somewhere. But like I don't know, I thought it was weird.
And in Infinity War, couldn't those things dig under the force field? I'm trying to remember.
No, they couldn't get through the force
field.
Those
big diggers, like the discs. How did they get in? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
They opened it. They opened the force field.
Okay.
Because like the problem was, they were worried that they were going to collapse the force field because they're all hitting it at once. Such a big force, was doing so much damage that all of the fields would fail. So they opened up a small portion to let it in, to let the people in, and then they fought them inside the fields. So like instead of fighting them all at once, it's just a little bit at once.
It was a little weird that he snuck in like that, but I was like, okay.
That's like
he swam under. Okay, all right.
It's like, like suspend disbelief or a little bit.
And they did. They opened it so the ship could come in, so you could have maybe just swam in when it.
That's another thing that we were joking about too, where they're like tapping the water.
Yeah.
And like it opens up the water force field thing. That's the dumbest thing ever. I hated that. And I looked at my friend. I'm like, so like you have an off day, you just slam into the wall, or it's like, oh my God, who put Jerry on the drum? He has no rhythm.
He wasn't even watching. Yeah.
Like that. I think technology, make technology cool and adaptive, but like just be like, oh, button, force field, open. Like that's it. Like you don't have to be like,
Yeah, and that's the weird thing with these movies is like the first one really tied in, African culture into the Wakanda, and it was really cool. But it's like they're not playing the drums to work their force field. They have like buttons and computers and stuff. You know, like
they're a super advanced civilization. They're not, and like they're like so smart. Before I forget. That scene when when the mom goes to the UN meeting and talking about our king is dead, but we are not weak.
Yeah.
And then it showed like the French soldiers coming in to like steal vibranium, and then they fuck them up.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
I really like that. And like how I don't know. I think it's a little weird that they knew. I don't know if it's weird if they knew that the attack was happening and stuff. It's like, but the whole setup where it's like, oh yeah, like they open it up and then the Dora Milaje come in. I'm like, oh shit, fuck them up.
That chanting that they do whenever the Dora Milaje is around is like awesome. It's very hype.
Okay, another thing too with the Dora Milaje, super cool, and it was in that scene where she like spins her spear and blocks the bullets. Didn't like that.
Yeah, it's a little much. They're supposed to be just like regular people, right? They're not super powered. They're just good combat.
They're highly skilled fighters with vibranium weapons, and so it doesn't make sense. It would have made more sense where she saw the guy bring up his gun and like she hits a button on her spear and a shield, like one of their shields
Yeah.
pop up and then they block. Because I think they do that like a second later.
Yeah, they do have shields. Yeah.
Where someone has shields them stop like so that would have been. It doesn't make sense to your character to like. Because even if Captain America did that, where he's like a thin pole and he like blocks the bullets, that would make sense.
Yeah.
He has this, I don't know. There's like a lot of little things that they do that like that just doesn't make sense. And
yeah.
Like
the thing with me is there was multiple moments in this movie where I thought to myself, they should be dead. Like when Riri Williams in her Mach 1, like you said, it's just like a harness in a mech suit, kind of like from Alien. She got hit with that bomb and smacked onto the concrete with no helmet. I'm like, she's dead. And she's just fine. I'm like, okay.
Well, let's talk about that too then. I really like the Atlanteans. One, I thought they look cool. I like the fact that they have like that Aztec armor and stuff. Yeah. And those guys are actually like basically because they all ate the heart-shaped herb or whatever. Yeah. So they're basically all super soldiers. They're not all on the same level as like Captain America or
they're descendants of the right. Like. So you'd think all of the original Mayans that ate that herb were Black Panthers of their culture. Then they all bred and had kids. So you'd think maybe it was like a little diluted as it went on.
I don't think even that though.
Because they weren't.
The fact that it's technically a slightly different herb.
Yeah.
But it's like this superhero like the effects of the herb are similar to Captain America's superhero serum, but they're also different. Like it increases your strength, increases your speed, it lets you heal faster and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's still different. So I think the fact that it's just a different fruit is why they're still super strong.
Yeah.
They still heal really fast and stuff. Their only weakness is like they have to be in water.
Yeah.
Or they have that breather mask.
Yeah, it's kind of comparable. Like, so not that they're definitively the Black Panthers, but like, right. it does a similar thing. The heart-shaped herb doesn't give you healing, right? But it does do the strength and the speed and agility, and it gives you connection to. Because theoretically, they could have had a bunch of people eat the herb, right? They just didn't.
They did.
Yeah.
Well, the original people did. Yeah, but everyone else is just descendants. And so I don't know how that works, if there was only one plant or whatever.
Namor was unique in that he was a mutant, so he was born differently, so that's fine. He was like the alpha of their cult. That's fine.
His mom drank the herb, like soup or whatever, and she was pregnant with him at the time.
Yeah.
And they didn't really say it was. Oh my gosh, I'm dying over here.
I was starting to get a little tickle in my throat too. I was like, oh no, oh god.
Well, I don't talk that much at work. I'm sitting by myself alone, so like, just this little bit of talking, I think, wears out my throat.
That's what I was saying before we started. I'm like, gotta have something to drink. I gotta find something because I know you're paid. You gotta have something to drink.
But they're kind of saying like Namor in the comics, Namor is a mutant, I believe. That's why he has the wings on his feet and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like even everyone else in Atlantis is like an Atlantean. He's different, but I can't remember exactly how they phrase it in the movie. But they kind of leave it up where it's like, well, maybe it was like the fact that he was like his mom, he was a baby when the mom drank it, or like he was still developing.
Right.
That's why he got the wings. Or maybe he's a little something,
Yeah,
so
or a little of both.
So like that's why they're like leading into it's like he's kind of a mutant. He's kind of just whatever.
I think they did a great job with Namor. I mean, Marvel's had this problem with their villains for the longest time where they've been just a copy of the main hero with a different set of powers, which you could say this is still kind of that same thing. He's very similar to the Black Panther, but he's got his own unique traits. He's got to be in water. He gets stronger when he gets wet.
I like the fact, one thing I hate about Marvel villains is basically almost every single one of them dies.
Yeah.
They all die.
Yeah.
Like unless you're like Loki is like the Loki and was the only one who didn't, and then same with Thanos, but he eventually died.
Yeah.
But like right now, the overarching villain's gonna be Kane the Conqueror. If you watch the Loki series,
yeah.
And like they showed him in the Ant-Man trailer. Mm-hmm. I'm very excited for that one too. But like, I wish they'd stop killing their villains.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Michael B. Jordan. They killed him at the end of Black Panther.
Yep.
And it was a great scene. And like he was like, "Let me die. I don't want you to save me so that I can be a prisoner like my ancestors or whatever. I want to die a free man." Super awesome line and stuff. Yep. And like when Chadwick Boseman died, I was like, they should totally bring back Michael B.
Yes,
which they did, and I think they did. I think what they did was a lot better than what I had in mind.
I was watching when she was walking up to the chair. She's like, "Mom," and you see him. I was dumbfounded. I'm like, "Oh shit! I can't believe this." Because I've heard rumors where they're like, "Oh, maybe he's going to come back and be the Black Panther." I'm like, well, I don't really want that, but it would be cool. But I don't want that. But the way they did it was awesome. That she saw him. So what does that mean going forward? Like, obviously she wore his suit when she came out, but she's not trying to be like him. So do you think it'll just kind of end with this movie, like?
I think
or will they have more of a connection?
I think she's gonna go back again to like the ancestral planes more and stuff in like future movies and stuff, and maybe have more. She'll probably seek him for advice. Another thing I thought that they should have done was the guy who's in charge of the gorilla tribe. Great actor, Ubaku, yeah, or something like that. It's a big guy,
yeah.
And he's like. And like he like in the first movie he had like super great jokes. He's like, "We're not gonna eat you. We're vegetarians." And then this one he's like eating a root vegetable, like a carrot or something.
Yeah.
Love him. And I was like, you know what? They should make him the Black Panther. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't want Siri to be it because she's not really like a fighter kind of thing. She's more of like the tech guy or tech girl or whatever. So I didn't really like in my head. I didn't really think of her to be the Black Panther. I was thinking they might put her as one.
Yeah.
I was like, it'd be really cool. It's like if they brought back Michael B. Jordan, or if that bigger guy, like that big gorilla guy. But then like they made him King of Wakanda at the end. That was cool. So like. I had all these like thoughts of like they should bring back Michael B. They should put this guy in a leadership role, and they did, just not in the way I was thinking.
Right? Yeah, they did a good job. Like they could have just put him in and just had another man. You know, that was the one thing Ashley said where she was like, "Yeah, it's a lot of female heroes now," and it's like, yeah, but we've had a lot of men, and we still have a lot of men. Yeah. And with this story, it kind of made sense where it's like. What else are you going to do aside from recasting him? Or, like you said, you could have done either one of those guys and you probably could have made something work. But at the end of the day, there was no herb. She had to synthesize it. It was her brother, her legacy, her family problem. It just kind of lined up more naturally for her, you know?
She went through a lot, too.
Yeah.
She lost her brother. She lost her mom, you know, her dad. Like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I was very happy with it. I want to talk about the ending.
Right.
Is there anything else There's one thing I want to mention. I went to the bathroom when the colonizer went into the kitchen and found his ex there.
Oh.
So I missed whatever happened there, and I came back and Ashley was like, "Yeah, they arrested him."
So, all right, I'll tell you what happened when I went to the bathroom. When Namor was talking about how when his mom died, he went back up to the surface to bury her back where she came from, back in her home. And then when he went up there was all the conquistadors there that were terrorizing everyone. And he's like, we had to cut all ties with the surface.
Yep.
And we have to protect our people. So when you went to the bathroom, he was the American, is he NSA or is he CIA?
CIA or FBI or something. American government.
Because she's the one who's setting up the Thunderbolts, and she is NSA, which I thought was weird. But all right, so she's in the kitchen. And she's asking him questions and stuff, and she's like, "Yeah, I know you've been talking to the Queen from Wakanda. We put a bug on the beads. We saw them at the scene. We bugged them. We knew you'd pick them up and call them. We know everything that's been going on." And I was like, "Oh my god, about that!" So they even they fooled me too. Watching it.
That was a beautiful connection too. When she mentioned she was his ex, I'm like, oh god, that's so perfect. Because I was wondering how they were going to connect her, and I'm like, yeah, why not? That's perfect.
I really like what they're doing with her character too, because she's a comedian, or she does comedy and stuff. So the fact that she's funny is the best.
Yeah.
This snarky, evil kind of woman or whatever. And I'm like, dude, I'm loving it. She is killing this role. Because I know she's bad, but I don't hate her yet.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how this goes. I'm excited with her. Every time I see her, I'm happy.
They're teeing up the Young Avengers because now they have an Iron Man.
Yep.
They have a young Hulk.
Yep.
They have Hawkeye's daughter, or Hawkeye's psychic, Kate Bishop.
Yep. They introduced Wanda's kids.
Who?
Wanda's kids. They're Young Avengers.
Are they?
Right now they're dead, but they were introduced.
Yeah,
they're going to come back somehow. We just don't know yet.
So they got 4 people so far. So the Hawkeye, Hulk, Iron Man,
Kang,
or no?
Because he is a version of him is in the Young Avengers.
Well, I'm just saying the characters that act that roles that have actors for.
Sure.
So they have the Hulk, the Riri Williams for Iron Man, Kate Bishop for Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
God, I keep forgetting someone. Ant-Man's daughter.
Yep.
And there was another one that I'm just forgetting. I'm blanking on.
But so they're doing that.
Yeah. So they have that teed up really good too. I'm really excited for that. All right, so ending. I feel like they kind of. I don't know how they should have ended it, but I feel like it was kind of a swing and a miss. I like the fact that they found out his weakness was heat, sun exposure and stuff. I like the fact that she spared his life. I hated the fact that they brought a battleship out into the middle of the fucking ocean to fight Atlanteans. That was dumb. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I'm like... I suppose the point was to get him out in the open, but it's like, could you have left yourself in a more vulnerable position where they can surround you on all sides, even if you have the one sonar thing that the lady could jab a spear into at any given moment to protect you from their hordes? No backup?
You don't have any, and they have the only one sonic cannon thing.
Yeah.
You don't have hundreds of those.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I was just it just feels, and like they had so many like Wakandans on top of that battleship, but at the very end there was like 10 people left.
Yeah, all the bombs went off and it dropped everyone. I'm like, oh my god, all of your people are getting murdered right now. This was such a bad idea. Like, I would feel horrible.
Yeah, that was not a great plan. And especially, they're fighting in the water. Why don't they have, like, special, like, breathing masks?
Yeah.
Like, in case someone goes overboard. And, like, some kind of propulsion system. I don't know.
Yeah, they were totally mismatched the minute they hit the water. It's like, you should have thought that. But I guess she was out for vengeance. She wanted him to kill him. She wasn't concerned with her people, which is...
That's why I was, like, a little upset. Because, like, she's one of the smartest people around. And, like, it should have... I just feel like it should have went better. But then, like, Namor said, like, as soon as they turn on Wakanda, they'll either join us or die.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ugh, I hate that. And I'm like...
I kind of... So, I get what you're saying. It was very villainy and, like... But it makes sense, you know, because he didn't end a hero. He didn't end the villain. He's kind of like in the middle where he's trying to play them, right. And he's kind of an asshole. You know, like okay, not terrible.
He is, though. I have to say, I'm a little surprised she beat him. He is so freaking strong.
Yeah, she barely did, and that was my issue with the ending. Is he stabbed her like you should have died. He pinned you to a rock, spear through. It's not Tony Stark getting stabbed in the stomach, javelin through your body. Like, she doesn't have healing powers. Like, maybe nanotech, maybe, but they didn't really stress that.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, I don't know. That was another thing too. I was joked about. I was like, how do they keep finding spears in the sand? Because like you just see them reach into the sand and they pull it because they both did it.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do they keep finding spears? Yeah. Yeah. So like the last fight,
the body armor that she's wearing. The whole first movie, they built up this idea. Yeah, they get hit and it stores kinetic energy and it explodes. So I guess it was a vibranium spear. That's why he could pierce the suit. But
I think, well, that's what I was assuming. But no, that's another thing that I kind of hated. Is like he hits like a fucking truck because he punched that one.
Where were the big yellow explosions all the time?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like every time he hit, she should have been like releasing.
Right.
Like it should like went out through travel and then hit him right back. Like that would have been cool. Like that. I really liked her claws. I thought that was a cool touch.
Yeah.
I don't know, how did her cannons break? They're made out of vibranium.
Yeah, what hit him? It was when she was on the side of the ship, right?
That was when she was in the ship. When because like Namor was using his vibranium spear to like start fucking up like other like that
to hit the engine, yeah.
Yeah, so he's trying to break the engine to escape. And so she went through the shield, took on her set of cannons, and was trying to hit him with it to, like, put him down or keep him occupied enough until he got to the desert. But then it exploded, and then all her cannon arms were, like, fucked up. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Because one is nanotechnology, so it should have just reabsorbed.
Right, or pull, like Tony Stark kind of pulled from some of the other parts of the suit that she's not using and reinforce.
Right.
That's the issue now that there's a lot of vibranium stuff out there. It's getting a little fragile. You know, that's supposed to be a very durable material.
I 100% agree too. Well, like, Captain America's shield got fucked up.
Yeah.
Too, at the end of Endgame or whatever. So like, vibranium, this indestructible metal that absorbs and releases kinetic energy, is just getting pwned. Like left here, it's like So I think that's going to be an issue in like future movies.
Yeah. They're getting a little sloppy with some stuff. Nothing was too egregious, though. Like, I can look beyond the cannons breaking, and because I guess they never said the cannons were vibranium. You know,
Right.
you would think because she's the queen of vibranium tech that she would have made it, but you
Yeah.
know, whatever. It's fine. What did you think of Riri Williams' suit?
I didn't like it. I
Yeah,
agree. It looks like a Gundam. I think it's not that the design even. I think just the CGI.
yeah,
It
yeah.
looked almost. It almost looked cartoony, and that was my same issue
Very.
with. That was my issue with She-Hulk too. It wasn't that like She-Hulk. I think she should have been a little like more bulky. I
Yeah,
think like a lot of people complained like she was too skinny, and I kind of either way I don't care. But my issue was the texture and color of the skin. It just looked off compared to like with the TV show though. I kind of understood because like it's very expensive to do like that full body
right.
CGI and stuff. So they use it like they probably use like a cheaper something a little cheaper, a little less intense than like what they use for like the Hulk movies and stuff. But and then like the reason why the Hulk looked so good was like the Hulk just has a whole bunch of just like past. They have already have all the like the work put in like to
Right.
build that.
They know how to make the
Remember?
Hulk look good, you know,
Right.
relatively
They already
easily.
yeah like and they already have like just the tools and stuff to do that. So it's
Right.
just like just adding more motion like different motions for it and stuff. So like that's why the Hulk looked. I thought the Hulk assuming why the Hulk looked better.
Yeah.
But like but yeah, I feel like they're starting to cheap out on CGI to like save money and stuff because like it just
She
I
popped on the
don't
screen. I'm like, for one, the suit doesn't look that. I don't know what her suit looks like from the comics. I've been trying to avoid everything because I wanted to go into this review like, at least with my own opinions. So I don't know what her suit looks like in the comics. I'm gonna look at that, but like,
you
I
know
didn't
what
like
that's a
the
good question.
design. The CGI looked terrible. It looked like almost a Pixar suit. Like I'm like, I was not impressed. Not impressed at all with that. But her character was cool. I'm happy to see what happens next.
Yeah, I
Um,
really like her character. I'm very excited to see her. I'm just like looking up online right now, quick.
hmm
Like I'm just like Ironheart's suit. Um, yeah, I don't know. It looks fine. Like
Is
it's
it
definitely
similar to
yeah.
what's on screen in the movie?
No, not
No.
really.
Huh.
The couple I'm looking at, they're a lot slimmer. But they look more like Iron Man suits, you know. So
Do me a favor. Send me a picture of what you're seeing like after, and I'll throw it up on screen just so they can see what we're seeing.
no
Um,
problem.
yeah, it. She was good. Suit was weird, bad CGI, but what do you think about the end credit scene?
With the child, I liked
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's who I was forgetting. That's I was like, there's someone else. So now they have a Black Panther for the
Yes, yeah.
young Avengers too. That's I was like, I'm forgetting someone.
He's
I liked it. I thought that was cool. I mean, kind of shoehorned in and stuff. It's like, oh, really? No one else knew. T'Challa had a kid in Haiti.
so I after that I've been meaning to go back and rewatch the first movie, but that was they were
That was
married in the first movie, right? Or were going to be married, and then she left.
they
She's
were they were together. They were supposed to get married, but then she didn't. I think she rejected him at the beginning. I can't remember. I have to rewatch the movie. Um,
that could be you know, if what they said in this movie was true, like they loved each other. He didn't want the kid a part of the throne. Like I could see that in a way, you know.
I can see it, but the fact that you can tell that there was like wasn't like there was no I don't know. It's just like it.
They didn't plan like because
I
from
like
everything I've heard, they had to completely reworked the script because he died, and I'm sure they weren't thinking that, but that was a nice way to kind of.
It's kind of like when you find out Clint has a family.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay. Like, so
Sure,
I
yeah.
like it. I think it's great. I thought he was a little young though.
Yeah,
Well, I guess though they can't really make him that much older. Now that I
yeah,
think about it.
yeah. Because it was Black Panther 1 was kind of right before Infinity War, and then that goes right into the blip. So if she got blipped or not, it's not a lot of
I
time.
would say he wasn't blipped.
Yeah, but
Yeah. So he'd be like 6, maybe
yeah,
7.
yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Do you?
maybe they'll do something to age him up or something.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see. Now, what do you want to do, Alex? I think we're coming here towards the end of our little discussion on Wakanda Forever. Do you want to do a score? We haven't really talked about this. Do you want to do like a 5-point score? Do you want to just leave it with our discussion? How should we end our conversation here?
You know what? I'd give it a 4 out of 5. Like I think the story was great. I think the biggest thing was the pacing. I think the pacing throughout the whole movie was really good, even though it was 2.5 hours long. Didn't really feel like it. The only time it really felt really long was when I had to go take a pee break.
Yeah.
And it was like my bladder's going to explode. But other than that, like I thought I'd give it a 4. Like out of Marvel movies, it was pretty good.
Yeah. What? Say it again. The name of that app, just so everyone knows.
Oh crap! I lost it. I think it's called the Run P app. It's the Run P app.
Okay, the Run P app. I'm definitely going to download that. I'm going to use that on the next movie I go to see in the theaters.
It tells you what time to go pee. It tells you what quote in the movie to listen for, and then it gives you a summary of what you missed, and it's really great.
Okay, awesome. If I were to give this movie a score, I also would say about a 4 out of 5. It didn't have a lot of the other problems recent Marvel movies had. 5 out of 5 to me would be like some of the top tier Marvel movies, which this was up there. I'd have to think about it. You could maybe make an argument that it's better, but I think 4 out of 5 is a totally good score. That's where my gut is putting it.
The only way I'd rank it higher is if it tied into other movies a little bit more. That's like the one thing with like Marvel is like everyone's like, oh, like the movies are like this roller coaster or whatever. It's like this like spectacle of lights, but it's one long continuous show or like movie or TV show or however you want to phrase it. Because like I feel like I'm a little because I was getting a little worried about it because I feel like they're gonna try to pop off more movies faster now.
Yeah.
Now that they kind of got their formulas down, but while they're when they release the Eternals and House of Madness or Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man and Wakanda Forever all in the same year or whatever, like it's kind of like hard for them to make references to the outside world. Because then they're like, oh, hey, why wasn't Wakanda? Why didn't they help us? Or why didn't the Avengers help us? Where the hell was Thor?
Right.
Kind of thing. And so I think what makes a really good Marvel movie is like it can't be just a good standalone show or movie. It also has to like tie into the overall arc.
It has to make sense within the universe that's been presented.
Right.
I think a big problem with this phase has been, I think it's just COVID. It screwed up the order, and then that, like, it made things not make sense, or then they had to, like, ignore certain things, and I'd be curious to see what's going on.
I think that was a big part of it, where they had trouble with the filming, because they had all those COVID rules for filming and stuff, and then, like, they couldn't release movies in theaters, so now they're releasing a bunch at once. And they don't want to spoil other movies while they're releasing movies. But I think the pace though, like aren't they releasing like 2 or 3 movies next year? I don't know what's on the docket, but
Yeah,
for sure they have more shows too.
I think now we're in an unprecedented age of Marvel where we're just gonna keep getting steamrolled movie after movie after show over and over and over again. But
I like it. I think it's great. I think that I'm really excited to see all. I love Marvel. I'm excited about DC too. I think James Gunn is going to do some good things. I think what they need though, 100%, is someone like Kevin Feige, like not Kevin Feige per se, but like just one person who's at the very top, who's like in charge of the big picture vision.
Yep.
They need one They can't. Like that's the same thing with Star Wars. Like you can't just keep bringing different people. It's just not gonna line up. So like, if you want, DC should have fucking killed.
Yep.
With the superhero movies, and they are doing good. Like they're
doing better. Yeah.
Well, like even the old ones, like Superman, Batman versus Superman, and Justice League, easily cleared over $1 billion.
Yeah, they're profitable, but they're like not great movies. You know.
Yeah.
That's the problem with DC. We will definitely be back. We're going. If you're interested, we could do this with DC too. So, I figured we're gonna cover all the Marvel movies as they come out. If you want to do DC, we could do that too. I've been like off put by DC, but I'll get back on and we will do this. Because Batman was good, Shazam was good. Shazam's coming out. I didn't see Black Adam, but
I was surprised how good Batman was.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm not gonna lie. I was taken aback how good Robert Pattinson did as Batman. It was a great movie.
That was like the opposite of this, where it's like the whole movie went by, and I'm like, oh, it's over? I wanted more.
Yeah. Oh my! I'm interested to see what they do with all that stuff. Are they making a Joker sequel? I think I heard that somewhere.
Yes, they're making a sequel to Joker. I don't know anything about it. It's got the main guy back, whatever. Joaquin Phoenix is back. I don't know what they're going to do. I have some thoughts. We'll talk more about this. Let me end this. If you guys liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see us cover other videos, let us know what you want to see us talk about, and we will see you later.